Hey everyone, welcome to Wild Pets by Ice Lighting. In this video I'm going to show you how to get the secret pet, the Sun Darter Hatchling. Now this has been around for a while, but it takes a while to do, so I haven't bothered doing it. So I'm going to tell you how to do it, in case like me you haven't bothered doing it yet. So first off, this is going to take quite a while to do. You're going to have to collect a bunch of stuff, and then once you've got the stuff, actually doing the cave requires time because you're going to be using potions that have a 5-minute cooldown. So as long as you've got the time and the patience, let's go through what we need. So first off, you have to have the Perky Pug pet. If you do not have this, you're going to have to do the Looking for Multitudes achievement, which is basically doing Looking for Group a million times. It's not a million, it's like maybe 100, I don't know. But if you don't have that, don't carry on. If you do have that, make your way to Valdrakken to the pet supplies because you are going to need the little princess costume. Without this, you won't be able to do it, so grab that. So next up, we're going to do everything you can get from the auction house. There's a whole bunch you get from the auction house. You could, if you were an alchemist, make these, but getting the recipes might be tricky for you if you haven't been doing this since classic. So here's what you need. You need a major fire protection potion. Do not get anything less than majors. This is really, really important. So major fire protection potion, major arcane protection potion, major frost protection potion, major holy protection potion, major nature protection potion, major shadow protection potion. So those are the potions, and you can see I'm buying them from the auction house. Some of them are relatively cheap. I'm not really paying over 100 gold. Honestly, it will take you less time to probably buy it from the auction house than to actually try and go and farm the recipes and then the mats to actually make it. So once you've got all the potions, you then need to move on to the Ethereal Oil. Again, this can be made by alchemists, but again, it's up to you whether you want to actually go and farm the recipes or just buy it. So as well as the Ethereal Oil, you're also going to need Winterfall Firewater. So Winterfall Firewater is something that drops from the Winterfall Fur Bogs. You're going to need only one of these, so I mean, most likely you've got one in your bank and you don't realise, but if you don't, you can just again buy it on the auction house. They are pricey, but still, again, it's still probably more easy than farming it. Next, you're going to need 20 Pygmy Oil. So this again is made by alchemists, but you can buy it on the auction house for relatively cheap. You need 20 because the first one may not work, so having 20 means you've got more chance of getting everything you need. And then lastly, from the auction house, you're going to need a scroll of intellect. Don't get anything other than level 1, so basically one with nothing written on it. You can see all of 4 silver it's going to cost me, but that's the one we need. So get all those things from the auction house, or if you really want to with your alchemist, make them. Next up, we're going to make our way to Blackrock Depths. So Blackrock Depths, if you don't know it, you're going to make your way to the Guzzler pub, which is here in the Shadowforge area. If you've used your Dire Brew remote, you won't have to change the gate, but if you haven't, you'll need to click on this thing here, and that will change the gate. So basically, you make your way through those first 2 gates, click on that thing, walk up the stairs, and walk along here. I've sped this up. Obviously, you can skip ahead if you know where you're going. So make your way down through here, fight people, don't fight people, it really doesn't matter. Turn down to this side, go through here, past all these guys, and then you are in the Grim Guzzler. So at this point, either kill everyone that's been stalking you or carry on whatever you feel. So once you're in the Grim Guzzler, walk up the first set of stairs, take a right and head up to this set of stairs. Now what you're looking for is the gentleman behind the bar. So there is a guy behind the bar which wants you to get hammered with him. Basically, he wants you to do some drinking. So if you go around behind the bar and speak to him, he will ask whether you want to have a drink with him. So basically, keep clicking, keep drinking, you will get very drunk, he will get very drunk, and eventually he will pass out. And he drops his beer. So pick up his beer because you need that brew. That is one of the things you need. So once you've got that, make your way to Tanaris. So Gadgetzan is where you need to be going, and roughly the outer edge area here is where you will find a vendor that will sell you the Noggenfogger Elixir. Again, take 20 because the first one will not necessarily always work, and that way you've got a good backup. So next up then we're going to Dire Maul, so that's Feralus if you don't know where that is. There's several instances here. You want the top one, which is the Broken Commons. So make your way in, kill things, don't kill things, or whatever you feel like, but you need to make your way to this room here. So once you get to this room here, you will find Not. He is at the back. He is chained up, but he will give you the Ogre Suit you need. So if you've never done this before, just grab the quest, press accept, and turn around, and you're heading up the slope. So I've sped this up. You're basically walking around here. Again, kill things, don't kill things. It really doesn't matter. Go up the slope, and in the center is a bucket. Pick up the bucket, and then jump back down and speak to him. And he will give you your Ogre Suit. If he doesn't, it says it already in your inventory. Check your bank, because you might have had this from ages ago. Now, last thing we need to collect, you're making your way to Pandaria, you're making your way to Town Hall Sleeps, and you're going to go here. Now, the best thing to do at this point is do a /tar and then Scotty, and you will locate the person you need. He's in the same place, but it's hard to spot him. He's basically under the center of a tree. He is, obviously, if you're level 70, one shot, he's dead. He's a guaranteed drop, but you need his coin. So, now we have all those, it's time to actually go to the cave. Okay, so where is the cave? Basically, make your way to Winterspring and then just keep going. Just keep going straight over the top. So basically you're off map, but you're around the back of Winterspring. So you can see it's like a greeny area just as you come down, and you will find a cave here. So now that we have arrived at the cave, we need to double check we have everything we need before progressing too far. So as soon as you enter the cave, all your spells and toys will be locked out. So make sure you have all of your potions. I'm showing you all of them again so you can make sure they are in the same order so that you can use them in this order. You will end up with spares, obviously, ones that you didn't actually have to use 20 of. But this is the order we're going to use them in, so you might as well set them up the same way. Okay, so obviously as you enter into the cave, you are going to come across a big fire barrier. That is going to be our first one. So wander through here and then you will be able to see it. So to get through our fire barrier, all we need to do is use the fire protection potion. So that's why we've put it first. Use the major one, give it a click. Now it says it only lasts 2 minutes, but in here they last an hour, so you're all good. Now this is where the tedious boringness comes, because they all have 5-minute cooldowns. So you're going to be sitting here for a while waiting for 5 minutes before clicking each of the other potions, because this is a fel barrier, and those of you that don't know, fel is a combination of every single other type of magic, which is why you needed all those other potions, because basically mixing them all together means you have fel. So I'd like to note here that after I was on my third one, so 15 minutes in, I lost my internet connection and I almost cried because I thought, oh my god, I'm going to have to do this again. However, the gods of Blizzard had allowed it to stay. So when I logged in, you can see everything is still there. Obviously my quest has popped up and I wasn't really paying any attention, so that stays there for the rest of it. I'm sorry. But you can see here that I did finally get all of them done and it didn't use up that time. So you do have that tiny bit of buffer where Blizzard are kind to you. It didn't teleport me out or anything. So now that we are out of time and ready to do the final one, we can now pass through the barrier. So excellent, so now we're into the next room and there is a diligent watcher. So this watcher requires you to be a skeleton, so keep clicking your Noggenfogger Elixir until you become one. So mine was on my second attempt, so I was pretty pleased with that, and then I wandered through. Now as you come through here, there are two paths. It's not obvious. One is a big blue barrier, but if you turn the other way, you will see that there is actually vines. So in order to get through the vines, we're going to need Scott's coin. So you should still have that in your list to use next. So use your coin and it will turn you into a spriteling and you can just pass through into the vine area. inside the blue pool in front of you somewhere is a water stone. It's a little bit tiny, so spotting it might be a little bit difficult, but once you have the water stone, you just need to open your bag and use it. This will allow us to pass through the blue barrier. So don't worry about cancelling anything, just walk back out as a sprite, otherwise you'll be stuck there, and then you can just walk through the blue barrier. Now, the next room you'll see has a giant guy, and so I was like, okay, let's get a good angle on him before I use my next thing, and of course apparently that was too close and I got teleported back to the beginning, which was kind of really irritating, but luckily everything is still up. I was concerned about going past the Watcher again. I thought maybe I needed to be a skeleton again, so I did click on my Noggenfogger Elixir again, and all it actually did was just make me small, which didn't really help. So I figured I'd risk it, and since it says I've stopped breathing, I figured it might work, and it did. So just so you know, that is a good backup. Now we are heading back through the blue thing because everything is still up. We still have plenty of time to make these mistakes, so don't worry if you do make a mistake, you should be fine. So I decided to wait about here where I could barely see him and then use my diabrew. So I didn't cancel anything. Use your diabrew. Now I'm a really tiny dwarf, but it still counted, so that was fine, and I was able to walk past him without being teleported back to the beginning. So as you come around this corner, there are two paths again. They're not necessarily obvious, but one is up and one is down. For this stage, what you want to be doing is heading up because the bottom one is blocked off. So go up and you will be able to then see another path splitting in two. Now for this one, I don't think it actually matters which order you do it in, but I chose to use the Ethereal Oil and go through the transparent side first. So you just need to walk through once you've used it and you will come across a stone. So this stone has a strange hole in it. In order for your arm to fit in said strange stone, you're going to need to use your Ogre Suit, and then even with your Ogre Suit, your arm still won't fit, so you need to use your Firewater. So now you're a massive ogre, or in my case, a still slightly small ogre, but it still works. So you now have the Sigil of the Second, which is why I said you could do it either way, because the other one is the Sigil of the First. But if you want to copy exactly what I did, this is how I've done it. So now that I've got my first sigil, I'm now going to walk through to the other one. So come back out, don't click anything off because you still need to get back through these barriers. So for this one, you need to be small. So this is what the Pygmy Oil is about. So keep clicking that. It may take a while before you become small. It depends on what size you were to start with, I suppose. But just keep clicking. Eventually you will notice a dramatic difference in your height. There we go. So that is how you get through here. So this cube here then, this is the one you need the Perky Pug for. So bring out your Perky Pug and give it a dress. Once your Perky Pug has its dress on, click on the cube and you will be given an option that says place arm beneath the cube. So place your arm beneath the cube. And there you go, you now have Sigil of the First and Sigil of the Second. Again, don't click anything off at this point because you still need to get back through these barriers. So now that we have that, we can go to the gate down the bottom. It has opened. So you can either jump off or walk down the slope. I really didn't want to risk taking any damage or doing anything that might mess anything up. So I was very cautious in here. So as you come down here, the gate is now open. I thought that bug was going to eat me or something. So when you enter this room, you will see the egg at the back and you'll be like, yay, egg, don't. Leave the egg alone. Turn to your right and there is a plaque. Go and see the plaque. There's nothing in your way. I was like, is there water? Is there a trap? No, there isn't. Just walk up to the plaque and click on it. Once you've clicked on the plaque, it then talks about how even the slightest amount of intellect is important, or blah, blah, blah. This is where you need your scroll of intellect. So open your bag up, use your scroll of intellect. Now, you need to take off the Firewater because this interferes with it. So take off the Firewater first, then use your scroll. if you can't use your scroll, it's because of the firewater. Now, different people have said you can just cross the water across the center and you can get the egg. Other people have said go around the side, otherwise you get portaled to the front again. I didn't want to risk it, so I've gone around the side because, to be honest, I couldn't be bothered with that. Once you get there, click on the egg. Ta-da! We now have our sun darter hatchling, and we never have to enter this cave ever again. So this is the sun darter hatchling, and these are the spells, actions, things, whatever it is you want to call it. Now, I do want to mention that because your spells are all silenced, you're going to have to walk out of here, even your hearthstones will not work. So, hope you found this video useful. As always, thanks for watching, and subscribe to see what else I'm up to.